WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. As the water continues to rise, so do concerns for law enforcement and first responders. The Calhoun County Sheriff says there are already some parts of the county that can't take much more flooding. Our Jory Talley waded through some of those areas today. She joins us now in the studio with more on that. Jory.
It's only day 2 of what could be a week-long rain and flooding event. And that means first responders will be working around the clock to try and keep everyone safe. Calhoun County Sheriff Greg Paulin says his entire department has been out and will continue to be until the flooding stops.
Problems are running as deep as the water here in Calhoun County. Roads and fields look more like rivers or lakes, and now homes are being threatened as well. And it's not over.
There's areas of my county that can't take much more, and then we'll be under not just inches, but probably a couple of feet of water in some areas. County roads that will flood, especially in the southwest portion of the county near Big Creek, that way. So, you know, there's some areas that we're very concerned about.
This area in Bardaman was already underwater Wednesday morning.
There's a culvert that is stopped up right here, and one of the county workers is out here with a backhoe trying to just keep it flowing, trying to get this water away from this house as quickly as possible, because obviously you know better than I that more rain is coming. So it's not over with. We'll be here for a couple of days doing this.
But high water won't keep deputies and other first responders from protecting their community.
We've got backpacks packed. We got enough food and water and supplies that we can stay out for days if we have to. Hopefully we don't have to, but all of my guys are prepared to be here for the long haul.
One rescue has already taken place in Calhoun County, but as the flooding continues, rescues could become even more difficult.
If it's one of those incidents where we can't just drive to you like that, we would call a wrecker. We have water rescue. We can call the game and fish. They have boats, four-wheelers. You know, we have people that are on standby to bring us whatever equipment that we need. So we'd figure out a way to get to you if we had to.
Paulin is stressing for everyone to be smart during this dangerous weather event. While I was in Calhoun County, I witnessed this truck do everything the sheriff says you shouldn't do.
We're asking people not to play in it, not to go through it. Don't put us in a position where we have to try to rescue you. You know, we can be using those resources for other things, and we're just asking people to use common sense.
Luckily, the driver of the truck I witnessed trying to go over a very flooded road that you just saw backed out before something tragic happened.
All right, Jory, thanks so much for that report. Well, severe weather preparedness week in Mississippi falling right in the middle of a major weather event, and that combination has Winston County paying extra attention to their plans and the skies. Stephanie Poole spent the day there and has more on their plans for action.
In 2014, a long-form tornado ripped through Winston County. In those 35 miles of damage, lives were lost, homes were destroyed, and some commercial businesses are no longer.
We ended up seeing about 100 people in our ER after the tornado hit. Weren't running on emergency power, water dripping from the ceilings. It's just a testament to what people can and will do in times of a disaster or any type of crisis out there.
After the tragedy, they went to work. From major improvements for technology, plans of action, and new facilities, city and county leaders want to make sure next time they will be ready.
The greatest improvements was a joint effort between the City of Louisville and Winston County to purchase a statewide radio system. It was a full compliance. Every first responder in the county has a radio that they can not only talk to all of the neighboring agencies within the county, but outside the county and with state agencies as well.
There's construction underway for a public safety building. This will take 1.5 years to complete. And a brand new state-of-the-art hospital replaces the one destroyed by the tornado. But even with all the progress, all the changes, the people who lived through the storm can't help but worry.
The anxiety level is very enhanced here, to the point that we really have to watch on testing our tornado sirens. It causes people to have an emotional response to hearing that noise once again. They associate it with only the worst things in life.
This community lost so much, but it is through the community efforts that recovery continues.
Look around, ride the streets, see how we recovered from that devastation. These people demand the best from its public servants, and that's one of the things that's always in the back of my mind. Things are not the same they were before that day. In lots of ways, they're better. Our streets are more smooth. We have new street lights. We have new power systems. We have better warning. But there's a part of life that we all lost that day.
And that was our Stephanie Poole reporting. Winston County has storm shelters on 2 of the 5 school campuses. They're working now to add even more. Time for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. And hard to believe, Keith, that's been 5 years since that tornado.
Years, and we actually do have another chance for some severe weather on Saturday afternoon and evening, so we'll be watching that. For this evening, though, the rain really gone, just a little bit of drizzle left. The clouds will fill back in, 50s and then some 40s later on here this evening, so that's where we're headed. A lot of you in Columbus, you can see overcast conditions. We were teased with a little bit of clearing in some spots today, but that cloudiness will fill back in, just a little bit of drizzle, so 50s and 40s now. As we check it out for the overnight hours, some 40s for most of us, but look at this, the rain chances come on back, and they're going to be with us for a few more days, or in just a few minutes.
A teenager is recovering after Lowndes County investigators say he was neglected by family members who were supposed to be his caretakers. 36-year-old Teresa Haynes and 60-year-old Henry Spencer are both charged with neglect of a vulnerable adult. Investigators found evidence of the neglect after they responded to the home in reference to a domestic disturbance call. Chief Deputy Greg Wright with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office says the home was cluttered, and it appears the special needs 18-year-old living in that home was physically neglected. Wright says the teenager could have been in that condition for several days, maybe even weeks.
This is bad. I mean, it is. Anytime you encounter, a human being or in a state like that, when supposedly you have caretakers supposed to be watching over the person, yeah, that image kind of sticks with you a while.
Spencer is also facing a domestic violence charge and failing to register as a sex offender. The U.S. Supreme Court says it will not take up a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of a Tupelo man shot by a Tupelo police officer. Ronnie Shumpert died in June of 2016, that is, after he fled from a traffic stop. Officer Tyler Cook shot Shumpert when he found him hiding under a house in the Lee Acres neighborhood. Cook says he fired after Shumpert attacked him. The dead man's family was seeking $35 million because they claimed a police dog attacked Shumpert and subdued him, making the shooting unnecessary. The case was listed in a Tuesday memo from the High Court outlining which cases would be considered this session. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for men and women in the United States, but there are medical tests that can detect early risk factors. For his third installment in Heart Health Month, Allie Martin undergoes a heart screening.
After checking in for my appointment at Cardiology Associates of North Mississippi, I was taken to the lab for the first of 3 tests as part of the preventative heart screening.
If you have a seat, sir, we'll get your blood work done.
All right. The lipid profile is a panel of blood tests measuring the amount of cholesterol and triglycerides in the blood. Next, it was time for a calcium score. A CT machine scans the heart and arteries for any signs of calcium buildup. A high calcium score means a greater risk of heart disease. Finally, an electrocardiogram, also known as an EKG, measures electrical activity of the heart and may determine if the heart is fast, slow, normal, or irregular. The EKG also allows a doctor to see if parts of the heart are too large or overworked. All 3 tests took less than half an hour.
Hey, how are you? Dr. Estes. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Sir. Good. Dr. J. Murray Estes went over the test results.
Your results are good. Your bad cholesterol was slightly elevated at 141, and your good cholesterol was 56, which is good. Your good cholesterol is your cleaning cholesterol, so it helps clean the heart arteries, and your bad cholesterol is kind of what dirties them up.
My EKG was good and the calcium score was 0, meaning no sign of calcium deposits on my arteries. Overall, Dr. Estes said my chance of suffering a heart attack in the next 10 years is about 1.7%. And Dr. Estes says that's the point of the non-invasive tests, to spot any potential issues that can increase the risk for heart disease.
And then we find some people who look like they have all the right things that they should not have a heart attack and their calcium scores unexpectedly high, which drastically increases their risk. Really, it's our goal to try to raise awareness and have people come in and be treated before they wind up in the hospital with a heart attack.
Dr. Estes encourages people to get at least 150 minutes of exercise a week and follow a Mediterranean-style diet for a healthy lifestyle, reducing the risk of heart disease. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The preventative heart screening costs $95. Those tests can also detect potential issues in other organs such as the esophagus and lungs, and we're happy our Allie is healthy. Coming up, a little excitement goes a long way. When we come back, we show you how one teacher brings that excitement every day. Welcome back, everyone. Most educators will tell you that attitudes are contagious. That's the idea that guides our Educator of the Week. This is Pamela Johnson. She teaches first grade at Fairview Elementary in Columbus. Johnson says the first grade is all about getting the students into a routine and teaching them the basics. But first, she has to lead by example.
Awesome. You have to come to school excited and ready to learn. As a teacher, I have to first be excited and eager to teach, and then therefore the students, they're eager to learn. So if you wrote happy.
She's exactly right. I remember my first grade teacher very well. To see your favorite teacher in the spotlight, go to our website, WCBI.com.
We mentioned this a few minutes ago. Severe weather a possibility on Saturday during the afternoon and evening. At this point, all modes of severe weather are possible, something we're watching out for, in addition to more heavy rain over the next few days. More on all of this after the break.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Rain back in the forecast. We just can't shake the rain, but that is the deal for our Thursday. We start out in the 40s, low 50s, maybe mid 50s tomorrow. The northeast wind at about 5 to 15. So we're adjusting temperatures down just a little bit, cooler than we were today. We will go back up into the 60s and 70s in just short order Friday and Saturday here. Our time lapse from Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama this afternoon. A little bit of mist there, some drizzle. The heaviest rain this morning and in the early afternoon, but you can just see a little bit of that light mist hanging around, but that's short-lived, it looks like. The big story over the last 2 days, anywhere from about 1.5 inches to 6 inches of rain here in parts of our viewing area. Obviously, a lot of flooding reports. These are all of the official flood reports over the last 24, but you know we've had a lot of active weather producing scenes like this around here with some waterlogged driveways, streets. That was Calhoun City earlier today. I think that was Tibby Creek this afternoon. We had just a lot of instances of high waters. Just don't drive through anything that you do not know the depth of. And obviously, at night, you just can't judge hardly anything. So it's best to not drive into flooded water and don't get anywhere near it at night because you just can't really get an assessment as to what's going on out there. But we're talking about the chance for maybe 1 to 5 inches of additional rain as we go throughout the next 3 days here. The heaviest potential probably across our northwestern counties again, northwest of Columbus, but that's what we're contending with, several more rounds of rain, that severe weather threat Saturday afternoon and evening. We still have the flood watch going for additional rainfall, as we just talked about here, for the next few days. Now, the rain chances will go up later tonight, tomorrow morning. Notice how we expect the showers to come back north as we go throughout the course of our day. On Thursday, some heavier rain could actually set up across the northwestern counties tomorrow night into Friday morning. More rain possible during the day Friday, and then into Friday night and Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, right there, this area of low pressure will eject out of the plains. It's going to be warm and unsettled here on Saturday. The temperatures well into the 70s, some wind shear going on, maybe some severe weather. Drier, much needed drier air for our Sunday and Monday. So we have some active weather here, 50s, then 60s, then 70s, followed by some storms. Nice weather Sunday and Monday. More rain possible by the middle of next week.
The rivals meet again. Hail State Hoops taking on Ole Miss. Last time out, it was Big T's World. Are we in for an encore? Hear from both squads next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss meet again on the basketball floor. The women playing for the second time in Oxford tomorrow. The Bulldogs have won 10 straight against its rival Rebels, winning by 31 back in January. Head coach Vic Schaefer isn't looking at the records, saying the Rebels have plenty of experience to rely on.
You've got some veterans on that team that have been to the wars. I mean, those 4 seniors I just mentioned. So those kids know what they're doing and how to do it. And you just got to make sure that, you know, Thursday night they warrant our complete attention, and we go in there and you know, play well.
The last time the rivals met, the night belonged to Big T. Tierra McCowan owning real estate in every paint in the building, finishing with 33 points on 11 of 16 shooting, along with 13 rebounds. Ole Miss head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen says there's really no stopping Tierra, but you got to hope to contain her.
I'm not really concerned with the fact, I'm not trying to come up with a game plan to stop her. I'm trying to come up with a game plan to limit her a little bit more. I felt like she was extremely comfortable in the paint. I didn't think that we did a good job coming up with a game plan to challenge her. I thought it was almost like she was doing a shooting workout by herself.
When she's on the court, we can make her uncomfortable by like just boxing out loud, not allowing her to get the rebounds, making it tough for her to get catches, not allowing her to get deep steals, because she get a deep steal, it's automatic. But because she's so much taller than us, she can just use the glass and make her shots.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss meet in Oxford at 7 p.m. tomorrow. It won't be televised, but you can catch the game on the SEC streaming service. Ole Miss football officially filling its linebackers coach position. Matt Luke announcing Wednesday the team will bring back Tyrone Nix, who spent time as a defensive assistant at Ole Miss from 2008 to 2011. Nix has jumped from multiple Power 5 jobs of late, spending time with Texas A&M as a defensive analyst in 2017 and safeties coach at Virginia Tech last year. A little bit of a spoiler, but Mississippi State going into halftime up by 11 on the Georgia Bulldogs. 36-25 is your score. Quindary Weatherspoon staying in the flames of late. 16 first-half points. Bulldogs ending the first half on a 13-0 run, capped off by a Tyson Carter jam. We'll have highlights and recap coming up at 10 right here on WCBI Sports. But thankfully the rain was able to let up, and baseball is going on in our area. Mississippi State just took the lead. It's going to the 8th inning right now over in Starkville. 3-2, they lead UAB, finally getting hits, finally getting runs on the board, all thanks to Jake Mangum with a 2 RBI single in the 7th to take the lead. We'll have highlights of this game and recap coming up tonight at 10. And you guessed it, you get more recap coming up tonight at 10 on WCBI Sports. Ole Miss in action against Arkansas State. At last check, the Rebels up 5-3 on the Red Wolves. Arkansas State jumped out to a 2-0 lead until Tyler Keenan changed that with a 3-run bomb in the first inning. Rebels looking to close out the deal with Houston Roth on the mound. We'll have much more coming up at 10. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Rain's coming on back tomorrow, and for Friday, Andrea, will be a cooler day Thursday, 60s return Friday. Active weather Saturday, warm, but very unsettled. We may see some strong storms here, but Sunday, Monday, those are the 2 days, if you're looking to dry out.
Get a little break.
Those are the 2 days to take off and get ready to dry out.
All right, and just to remind folks out there, for the people who are living in flooded areas, to heed the warnings and don't try to go around barricades.
Especially at night.
Absolutely. All right, that is the news at 6 o'clock. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening.